Hi friends, so this is actually take 2 of trying to shoot this video because I literally tried to shoot it a few seconds ago but got interrupted by a call that really drives home the point and the reason I'm doing this video. So anyway, I got a call from a residential agent I know who is actually looking for help for a client of hers that's looking to relocate here from Silicon Valley, and they're looking to relocate their business as well. So she's not too familiar with the commercial market and asked for my help and to see if she can send a referral over, which I said I'm always happy to take a referral. I partner with a lot of residential agents in town to help advise their clients on the commercial side of things. So anyway, back to the original topic of discussion, which is the benefits of living in Las Vegas. Given the craziness and chaos of the past few months, this year to date, pretty much, I've actually had more and more people within my social and professional circles that have been asking me, what are the benefits of living in Las Vegas? I'm really seriously considering a relocation there. You know, I may move my business as well. And here it is. These are my personal reason for relocating here is going to be a little bit different, but I relocated here in 2014, which is about 6 years ago now, and I absolutely love it. It's amazing. I'm so glad I made the move, and I really don't have anything negative to say about it, honestly. So the top 3 reasons that I personally moved are, number 1, taxes. That was a big one. I relocated here from New York City, and it was just city, state, and federal income tax, as well as ridiculous real estate taxes. So I am very happy that there is no state or city income tax here, and the real estate taxes are actually capped on your personal residences at 3% if you claim it as your personal residence. But we can talk more about that another time.
And the tax benefits don't just end with personal taxes. This presentation is actually something that I put together for investors I was meeting with in Asia last fall. But as you can see on this slide here, the favorable tax structure, the benefits also extend to businesses with a ton of benefits. As you can see, no income tax imposed on C corporations, S corporations, or LLC. There's no nexus tax, no chain store tax. And over here, this next slide, you can see that in 2019, Nevada was ranked as one of the top 10 best business tax climates.
So number 2 is the cost of living. So not only are you paying lower taxes, but you're paying less for a lot of other things, like real estate. That's definitely a big one. I went from about 1,000 square foot, 2-bedroom apartment in a very old building where literally brown water would come out of the shower sometimes. You know, the elevator was broken. We'd have to walk up 6 flights of stairs to a brand new home in a gated community, less than 10 minutes from the Strip, on the west side of town in a nice suburban neighborhood, while still in close proximity to lots of retail amenities. And it was about $400,000 for about a 3,300 square foot home. So 3 times the size and about $200,000 less than my apartment in New York, which was a lot smaller, a lot older, nowhere near as nice.
As you can see from this website here, the cost of living in New York City is actually 63% more expensive than in Las Vegas. And if you scroll down a little bit, they actually give you a detailed comparison. First, there's a little graph, and then they actually show all the actual numbers. So food is about 38% more expensive, and I love eating, so that definitely affects me a lot. Housing is actually 84% more expensive, and that affects everyone, especially if you're thinking about owning a home. Then there's clothing and transportation. Another big one for me personally. I prefer driving everywhere, just much more convenient, and I'm a bit of a germaphobe, so not the biggest fan of the subway. But you can definitely see all the numbers. Everything down here goes down to personal care. I'm a huge numbers person. I love analyzing data and statistics and facts, so this is great information. But if you just Google it, cost of living in New York versus Las Vegas, or whatever city you're in versus Las Vegas, there'll be countless resources about this. There's infographics and more general information as well.
Number 3, for me personally, I love this weather. I grew up in New York, lived there my entire life, and it was freezing cold, like single digits cold. Your bones would hurt, you know? It was really, really bad. Here, it's sunny about 300 days of the year, partly sunny or completely sunny, and it is amazing. Seasonal depression is actually a thing. Google it. Actually, I personally feel I may have had that, and I feel like a lot of friends may, having spoken to them recently, that they feel depressed and unhappy all the time. And it's just because you're not getting enough sun. It's really that simple. The heat is nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be because it's a dry heat. So it's actually very, very bearable. It's comfortable. You're not in that humid, muggy air that you usually get in New York. And since there's a lot less pollution, it also feels nowhere near as bad. Also, there's usually AC everywhere and you drive, so no complaints here. Number 4, if you are a small business owner or an investor, the local regulations here are much more small business and investor friendly. It's actually investor friendly for investors of all sizes, but the market here is more investor friendly. If you are a smaller investor dealing in the hundreds of thousands or a few million, I feel like in places like New York, Los Angeles, or San Francisco, unless you have tens of millions to play with or lots of liquidity, you're not going to do very well. You're lucky if you break even in those kind of cities, and you're usually just waiting for the appreciation. Whereas here, you can actually get positive cash flow and appreciation. So it's a win-win on the investment perspective. And I'm happy to talk about these. So if you have specific investment criteria or questions you'd like to discuss, please feel free to contact me. I'm always happy to help and serve as a resource.
Going back to that presentation here, we can look at the favorable market conditions for investors. As you can see, there is bank financing available even to foreign investors and definitely to national, anywhere in the U.S. There are actually no rent control laws in Las Vegas currently. The rents are growing faster than any big market in the country, and the city in general is still in a growth stage. It was number 1 in population growth in 2018 and the fastest growing state in the U.S., Nevada. The large rental population here, a lot of them just prefer not to buy homes, so it's great for our landlords. And the eviction process, as you can see, is actually a lot simpler. As both an investor that has worked in New York City and Connecticut on the East Coast, as well as Las Vegas, I can attest to this personally. We literally had tenants that owed tens of thousands of dollars in back rent, and it was months of this eviction process going through court and thousands of dollars more in legal fees on top of the time that we spent and the money that they owed. Versus here, it's like a 7-day process. You go through an eviction company, it's a few $100 and that's that. So because of these laws, people are typically much better about paying their rent because they understand that they don't really have that room to just take advantage of the system, honestly, like they do in some other cities.
Number 5 is quality of life. I'm actually going to start a series of vlogs, fun, food, local restaurants, local points of interest, because there is just so much to do in Las Vegas. It's not just about casinos, and it's not just about the Strip. And because you're not stuck in a subway for an hour like you would be in New York City, or stuck in traffic for 2 hours like you would be in LA, you actually have some time to enjoy your life outside of work, even if you work a lot like myself. And for me personally, one of my all-time favorites is Willow Beach. It's less than an hour outside of the city, and it is just amazing. You wouldn't believe that you're in the desert. You get to kayak there. The water is cool. And another one of my favorites is actually Mount Charleston, which is up in the mountains. Again, you wouldn't think you're in the desert. It's about 20 degrees cooler than the valley, even in the summer. So really brisk, nice. I can go on for hours about this, but quality of life is amazing. So much recreation out here. At Lake Las Vegas today. There's Stephanie in the background. We're back at Willow Beach today, and we brought Ewok in his little tugboat. Hello, little shark dog. Are you ready to go in the water?